Tim, thank you for joining us today at Goodwill to tell your story about, getting a job. I mean, you really have made a huge turnaround. First of all, let me hear what your name is and where you grew up.
I'm Tim Farrell, 38 years old. I grew up in Jacksonville, Florida. My dad's a pastor of a holiness church here in Savannah. And when I graduated high school, I wanted to be on my own. So he left me there. He left me to graduate. And after I graduated, I did a lot of odd jobs. Uh, then came to Savannah with my parents, and joined the church and affiliated with the church for a while. Um, then things took a turn for the worse because I was on my own.
How old were you at that point?
Oh gosh, 22,
Yeah.
23.
Okay.
Yeah. I didn't go to college. I thought I could just, you know, work on my skills, which I wanted to be a manager. I wanted to manage a big restaurant, you know. Um, but I didn't want to go to school. I didn't want to go to school. I didn't have the discipline for that. So did a lot of odd jobs and landed in the military. That's the best
At what
thing.
age?
25.
Okay.
I was in
And
the
which
military.
area of
In the
military?
army. I was in the army. Yeah, I did the army for 4 years. I was in Mogadishu, it's in Somalia, and I was in Iraq for Operation Provide Comfort. It was right after Desert Storm, and I was over in Iraq. Did 2 years over there. And if anybody saw the movie Black Hawk Down,
Yeah.
I was in the middle of that, so I can relate it to that and how everything was over there. Yes, I was over there in that. The Lord brought me out of that. Still was hard headed and came out of the military. Uh, Joined this program called Chapel Sales Incorporated (CSI), which sold books and magazines. So I went door to door for 5 years selling books and magazines, going state to state, city to city, and that was a nice experience. But the military stuck with me. The military stuck with the discipline of the military stuck with me, and I was able to go to school and for management training, and I did management training. I don't know. It was about 5 years later. Um, Found myself out of a job and homeless, uh, with the wrong people, the wrong crowd, into the drug scene, the cocaine and the marijuana, drinking heavily
In Savannah?
in Savannah,
Okay.
and just slumming it and bumming it. Just
What does a night like that look like?
a night.
Hmm.
Well,
Give me a day of what it feels like to be homeless.
right. What you do, you need money,
Hmm.
and if you're not, if you don't want to break the law, which a lot of my friends did,
Hmm.
they panhandle,
Hmm.
which is on the side of the road at gas stations, at restaurants, hey, can I get $1?
Hmm.
Something to eat, something to drink. You do it long enough, you'll come out with $20, $30,
Hmm.
at the end of the day, at the end of the night, after 16, 18 hours of doing that.
Wow.
If you didn't do that, you go to a temporary workplace,
Hmm.
which you have to be there at 5 in the morning, and they send you out to work, and you work for 8, 9 hours, and after taxes, you bring home about $35, $40. Yeah. So with that, if you have a habit, uh, most of that's going on drugs.
Hmm.
Just you worked all day for $30, and you spend $25 on drugs. For maybe a couple of hours worth of high. You get something to drink, and that's your day. And you sleep where you can.
Where
Uh,
would you sleep?
well, I was lucky. I had friends
Hmm.
that had places, so I would crash with them. As long as I would provide something. If I brought some beer, if I brought wine, if I brought the drugs, I was okay for the night. So that was a day. That's how
Okay.
a day went, and you wake up and do it all over again. Yeah.
How did you eat?
Eating for homeless people is you won't starve. You will never starve. That's the good thing about Savannah, and I guess other cities provide that. You have different shelters and churches that provide breakfast, lunch, and some do dinners, but definitely lunch. You know,
Okay.
it's countless of places you can go in Savannah to eat. You know, you have to stand in line and wait, and it might not be what you want. You know, it might be food that you hate, but
Hmm.
it's food. It's free, so you won't starve.
Now, since you were in the military, did you use the VA for a
I
hospital?
didn't. I didn't.
Did you know about it?
I did. I just didn't think I could take advantage of it, and you know, with my recreational activities,
Hmm.
it wouldn't help. You know, and I didn't want to stop using to straighten up long enough to have the VA help me.
Hmm.
Yeah, I
So what happened after that?
didn't. um, I was fortunate enough to, well, I say fortunate. I mean, it worked out for my benefit. Bad situation turned good. I used it in my favor. I got arrested
Okay.
and went to jail. Spent a year and a half, almost 2 years in the boot camp. And coming out of there, I was on probation.
What'd you get arrested for? Was it drugs?
It was drug possession and intent to sell.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't want to, you know, have my family members know about it, and my mom and dad, especially my dad being a pastor, a preacher, you know, preacher's kid, and all that. You know, I didn't want that having on my conscience. I didn't want to bother them. I didn't want them to know anything, so I didn't go to them for anything. Um, but after coming out of jail, I was on probation, so I had to walk the straight and narrow. I was going back. You know, one day I saved up enough money, and I was going to use it to get a place. Um, Something happened. I don't remember what was the catalyst, but my whole train of thought changed. My whole mindset changed, and I no longer wanted to do the right thing. So I took my money and partied for about a week. Uh, During that time, I got in trouble with my probation officer. I failed my drug screen, of course, and I was hiding. I was running from him. I was running from him. So I quit my job because he knew where I worked. Um, I was working at a rooming house. You know what a rooming house is?
Mm-mm. What is
Rooming
it?
house is they have these different houses throughout the city. One person owns a big house with maybe 5 6 rooms,
Mm.
and he turns it to like a hotel where it's extended stay. You pay weekly for a room, and whatever tenants are there, they share a bathroom and share the kitchen. So it's a house with
Like a
different
home?
rooms,
Yeah.
and it's your you have a little apartment, minus the kitchenette and the bathroom, of course. So I stayed in a rooming house, and I didn't want my probation officer to know where I was, and so I had to switch and change, and I got tired of that. My money was spent. I partied out till I couldn't party anymore, and I went to turn myself in. Yes, yes. I was at the Alamo Hotel on Bay Street, and I walked out of the door looking for the police officer to turn myself in, and I walked and I walked. I couldn't find one police officer. Can you believe that? Anytime you do wrong, they're there, but when you really want them, you can't. I honestly tried to find a police. I honestly thought about breaking a window so the police could come to pick me up. But I said, sooner or later, I'll flag down a policeman. And I did. I walked about 3 miles. I walked
Never.
about 3 miles and never did run into a police officer. When I stopped and looked up and saw where I was standing in front of the old Savannah City Mission. It's not a picture of the mission here, but this is a picture of me when I graduated the mission. Yeah, I spent 2 years at the homeless shelter at the old Savannah City Mission. And this is a picture of me on my graduation day, which was in, gosh, was it 2006. It was January
And Jim
2006.
Lewis was there.
Yeah, you
I
know
love Jim.
Jim. Oh my
Yes.
God. Yes,
Yes.
we call him Dean Lewis.
Dean
Yeah,
Lewis.
call him
Yes.
Dean. Yeah, we
Yeah.
call him Dean. Yes, I know him very
So
well.
he influenced you.
Oh, greatly,
Oh.
greatly. Yeah. So, yeah, the Old Savannah City Mission is a big part of my life and helped me greatly because I found the Lord there. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I found the Lord there. I grew up, born and raised in the church.
Right.
My dad's a pastor. Been saved all my life. He's been saved all my life, and it took me going to jail, being homeless, going to a homeless shelter to accept Christ, and that's what happened when I went to the mission. Yeah.
So that was 2006. Then what happened?
After I graduated there, it was no stopping. It was no stopping. The Lord just opened doors left and right, left and right. From there, I was introduced to Bojangles, and I started from the bottom at Bojangles here on Duran when it first opened. I worked my way up as a biscuit maker to assistant manager at Bojangles. Couldn't go any farther at that store because hi Philip, Philip Scott. He's the manager. He wasn't going anywhere. He was a great influence. Helped me out a lot. Him and Joe Dyer. Uh, but I couldn't move up any further. So Joe Dyer, who was the owner of Bojangles, um, had an idea of me running my own store, which is in Statesboro. So I went to Statesboro, opened my own store in Statesboro. Yeah, I was a manager there, uh, the director there for almost 2 years, and he sold that place to someone else, and that person brought his own management team. Yeah, so I was ousted, but someone heard of the work I was doing there in Statesboro. Someone heard about the work I was doing from Jacksonville, Florida, and they offered me a job um, as manager of Bojangles in Jacksonville. So I went to Jacksonville. They paid for everything. My first month rent, they paid for everything, and I went to Jacksonville and opened up a couple of stores there and managed a couple of stores there in Jacksonville. That's during that whole time, I was just managing, and I just got kind of burned out.
Okay.
So I left that business and wanted to go into landscaping, and did that for a little while.
With your own business, or did you work with
I
somebody?
worked with someone at a partner.
Okay.
Yeah, and worked with some department, invested my money, and he invested his money, and just the wrong time, I guess.
Was it right before the recession? The Great
Exactly,
Recession. Okay, I
exactly.
think I know where the story might be
Yes,
going.
yes. Everything just, we worked very hard and got the word out there. Just the clients weren't there, you
Yep.
know. So,
Yep.
without the clientele, we had to close up shop, and that really was a blow to my. That was really was a blow to me. That and the fact that
Was that 2008,
that was
9?
2008,
Yeah.
going into 2009.
October, by
Oh
the way.
yes,
Yes.
oh yes, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And I found myself just jobless, going into the old Tim, doing the old things,
Really.
old familiar things, yes, and going back and hanging in the streets and hanging with the people I knew I shouldn't, and yes, took me down, and um, that's what I ran into. Operation Open Doors, the Open Door program
With Goodwill.
with Goodwill. Yes, yes. With started out with I guess Lamar Odom and Bob Brown.
Where did you actually run into them?
Well, when I went to the VA for
Hmm.
something, they told me about that program. So I learned it from the VA clinic.
Okay.
Yeah,
And you were homeless at that point?
I was homeless at that time.
Okay.
Yes, yes, going from house to house, staying on friends' couch, staying in the car maybe. Yeah, I didn't have a job, and actually I was collecting unemployment,
Hmm.
and I was just so of the mindset, I don't have a job, and these people are going to pay me for not working. I'm going to use it to my best of my ability and just live off that. It was a bad idea, very bad idea. It's not something that you live off of. It's something to assist you until you find something, you know. And a lot of people abuse that, and I was one of the ones abusing until I woke up and said, no, this is to help me, not for me to use it as a crutch. So uh, I did that and got in the program with Bob Brown and Lamar Odom, Oliver, and found a job at Savannah Cottage, a nursing home right on White Bluff. And they found the job for me.
So Goodwill helped you find that
Goodwill
job.
helped me find that job. Yes, yes.
What did that process look like? What did you have to do to get that?
Well, the program consists of them sharpening you, your skill. What skills you don't have, they teach you and sharpen those skills, make you a better person. You learn about the computer, the internet, uh, going to jobs. How do you prepare for a job?
Hmm.
What you need to know. What about the position? The information you need to know. They have you do your homework.
Yeah.
So you're familiar with it. And when you do go for an interview, you're not dumbfounded, and you know what to say. You know a little about the company, and you know a little bit about yourself, so you know what to tell them, what you're bringing to the table. It gives you pride. You have people that care about you, people that's been in the military, know what you've been through, know what you're capable of, because they know the training that you received, and you use all that to your betterment, and you can use it at the interview table, you know, and it's just it's you know the reason I like it is because they stick with you. They don't just give you a piece of paper or pamphlet and say go. We'll call you in a week, see how you're doing. No, no, they almost mother you, baby you.
The Operation Open Doors.
Yeah, yeah. Some people might even say smother because they're calling all the time. I had this one peer counselor. All right, Mr. Furrow, where are you? It's Wednesday. Where are you? We're coming to get you. I'm sitting there with a beer in my hand, like, yeah, don't come get me. But yeah, they care. They care. If it's their quota, they didn't they didn't act like it was a quota.
No,
They act like they cared,
Yeah.
and that's why I can promote this program and talk about it because it worked for me, it helped me, and the people that they have are genuinely caring people.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And how long have you been with Savannah Square now?
Savannah Cottage is where the job they got for me.
Okay.
It's part time. I knew it
Okay.
was part time, but it was a job, So you take what you can get. But I also knew that I couldn't stay there because they didn't have a full time position at the cottage. My hats off to Savannah Cottage. I had to leave them because I found from them, from my experience at the cottage, I was able to get something better, get
Full
something
time.
full time. And I said at Savannah Square, which is one of the most prestigious nursing homes in Savannah. It's a 5-star luxury oasis. I mean, you've got to visit this place. It's awesome. It's incredible. You would never think of a nursing home. I mean, they have all kind of professional things to do, places to go, people that come there, you know, from out of town that are well known, pianists and violinists, and just cater to these people every need, whim. As a cook,
Yeah.
we have a menu that we go by, but if that's not what they want, whatever they want, we got to cook it. Filet mignon, rare steak, beef steak, anything they want, shrimp, everything. Yeah, we cook it for them. And the cold side, which is different salads, any kind of salads they want, any sandwiches they want, pastrami, deli meats. We just do it all for them. So, yeah, it's pretty high end.
So you've learned a lot working there.
I have. I was never really good in the kitchen, with my hands, and I'm a manager. I manage cooks. So that was my mo. That's what I excel at. That's what I'm good at. You know, I give direction and I show people what they need to do. And I let them know that I'm not just pointing fingers, showing you what you need to do. I get in there and do it too.
Right.
But I know how to handle people, their moves, and other people, and to get the job done. That's what managers do, and that's what I did for a while. But to be hands on, working in the kitchen and cooking, it was first time for me. First time for me, and I'm learning a lot. I'm learning a lot, and I enjoy it.
You do enjoy
Yeah.
it. Good. Good.
Yeah. So, yeah. It was due to the Lord, um, Old Savannah City Mission, and Operation Open Doors. That was in the military with that background, that discipline. That's unparalleled. Yeah.
Well, we're all very proud of you, and stay clean
Oh yeah.
and stay your course. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
Anything else that you want to?
Well, since we're talking about Operation Open Doors, this program, whoever listening to this piece and thinking about what this program does and how it can help, I know firsthand. I've been on the streets. I've been homeless. I've been without food. Didn't know where to go. Been to Department of Labor. Done that. No calls. And with the Department of Labor, a lot of that is on you. You have to be there. You have to go down there. You have to turn this in. You have to make sure you're there at a certain time. But with Operation Open Door, you have a mediator. You have yourself, which they're helping polish, but you also have them working for you. Going to this place. Hey, I got this person, Tim Farrell. He's good with his hands. He's good with this. He'd be excellent for this job. See, they're talking for you. They're paving the world for
Like
you.
an agent.
You're right, like
Yeah.
exactly like an agent. So even though you have your work to do, you have your homework to do. They're not doing everything for you. They're just like you said, an agent. They're paving the road for you so they can get that door open. So when you walk in, you can present yourself and you can be that person that the employer is looking for,
Hmm.
and they help you do that with pride, yes, and confidence,
I
yes.
see it. Wow.
Yes, they give you that confidence.
Thank you so much for sharing your story.
Thank you. Thank you.